Inshallah, before we start, Al-Qawaid Al-Fiqhiyya by Sheikh Al-Allama, Sheikh Abdul Rahman bin Nasir Al-Sa'di, rahimahullah. There are some questions from the sisters, inshallah. So inshallah, go ahead and ask a question.
So the first question the sister asked was, I have fibroids, which makes me have abnormal bleeding that lasts for a duration of 30 days at times. Should I wait until 15 days of when the bleeding first initiates to make ghusl and start praying? Or should I go with the normal 8 days of when my normal menstruation cycle occurs and start praying then?
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. There's no doubt, a lot of sisters, they have this issue. And this is a benefit for all the sisters. Jazakallah khair for this question. Because it's really very hard for them that they have to go through this. So what you do, you make ghusl when your normal cycle ends. Even if you bleed after that, the bleeding which is outside your cycle, then you make ghusl when your cycle ends, and you pray and you fast and you do everything else. This is what you're supposed to do. So you go by your normal cycle. If your normal cycle is 7 days or 8 days, whatever the case is, after that you make ghusl, and then you can pray, you can fast, you can do everything else. Now, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant you a full recovery.
And a second question to the first one, would I make wudu for each prayer and also wash for each prayer, as I may constantly bleed even sometimes whilst making wudu?
طيب. You make wudu for each prayer, no doubt about that. You make wudu for each prayer, and if you bleed during the prayer, if it comes out, out of your control, or you want to read the Quran after you finish Salat al-Fajr, you can actually read the Quran, make al-adhkar, and pray Salat al-Duha with that wudu, even if something comes out. Likewise, the one who has a problem with gas or anything like that, same ruling applies. So alhamdulillah, the Sharia is flexible, is easy. While you're making tawaf, comes out, your tawaf is valid. Tawaf is valid, wallahi alhamd. As long as you have performed the wudu prior to a tawaf, prior to the salat and the like. Now.
During the khutbah, when the imam makes a dua, do we say ameen with him? And regarding should we raise or keep our hands?
The sunnah is not to raise your hand, and the imam does not raise his hand. The sunnah is to make dua without raising the hand. And if the imam makes dua, you say ameen. You can say ameen. Now.
During the Jumu'ah khutbah, when the imam mentions Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should we send salawat or stay silent?
If he mentioned the name of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can say it silently to yourself, without saying it out loud. No.
Some close family members are posting the death and the injuries of those in Gaza and Palestine as a whole. What is the ruling of posting such videos? And how should we approach this situation?
The people of the Sunnah, they don't do that. The people of the Sunnah, they don't post anything like that. Images of people, their head is severed, or somebody is shot in the head, or something horrible like that. We don't put it out on social media. This is not from the way of the Prophet ﷺ or companions or those who came after them. And we don't know any of the Salaf al-Salih during a campaign, during a battle, that they used to do that with the kuffar. They will not do that. It's not permissible to do that. To have images of those people who have been killed and the like, this is not permissible. And plus, it creates more fitna. And brings about a lot of grief and sadness to the people. So this is not from the way of the Salaf. No.
What is the best way to handle in a marital situation? argument spurs, if one chooses to leave for the sake of being not sinful, and the other continues to engage and causes the situation to become worse, is the first spouse disrespectful for leaving the room? What should one do if the spouse follows to continue arguing?
طيب. If there's an argument between husband and wife, so we need to know that what stemmed from that argument. Why did this argument start? So if it is something legit, it has a valid ground that the argument started, then alhamdulillah, it could be resolved. It could be resolved, and either both of them are right, or one of them is right and the other one is wrong. Because sometimes both of them can be right. It just depends. This person looks at it from this angle and the other one looks at it from this angle, but both of them are right. Both of them are right. So in this case, probably there's a misunderstanding. So probably if this continues, they need to have a sit down with somebody who has experience in marital problems. Do some counseling with them so that he could say, look, this argument should not be in the first place, because this is not right. And explain to them why they should not argue, right? But if the person if the husband, for example, or the wife kept arguing, and the other spouse, felt if he or she keeps arguing, it will bring about more harm than good, and it will escalate and become something, really horrible and terrible. So in that case, they can walk away. And if they walk away, it's better than staying. It's better than staying. Because if he stays or she stays, it might, get into a physical, alteration or something like that. So you don't want that to happen. You don't want to leave any room for the shaitan. So walking away at the time when it is obligatory for you to walk away, then you should walk away. Because if you don't walk away, you might, get emotionally violent, and you might hit your wife, and this would be a problem, you see? Or she might hit you or something like that. And it happens between spouses. So it is better to walk away. And he or she would not be sinful. They would be sinful if they walk away from a problem that they can resolve. In that case, then it is not permissible to walk away. How can you walk away and you can resolve the problem? No, that's not a solution. You're just going to complicate the matter. You should never leave a rift between you and your wife. You just tell her, look, let's sit down and figure out why we started arguing. Right? Because sometimes it could be something futile, something very, foolish. But if it's something that has a valid ground, then it should be, inshallah, resolved in a cool manner, in a very, alhamdulillah, wise manner. Look at the Quran, look at the Hadith, look at the behavior of the Prophet ﷺ, how he dealt with his wives, and this is how you resolve the problem, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now,
the last question, if a woman is pregnant, is she supposed to still continue to pray when the induction of labor, the water breaking takes place, but no blood is apparent?
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. The woman who is pregnant, she is required to pray until blood comes out. And if her water breaks and there is blood with it, then she should stop. But there is no blood, she continue praying. Because when the water breaks, it doesn't necessarily mean that she should stop until she sees blood, which is the menstrual cycle blood. Not menstrual, I wanted to say postnatal bleeding, dam al-nifas, until she sees the postnatal bleeding. When she starts bleeding from the childbirth, that's when she stops. Prior to that, she does not stop. She prays. That's it, right? Okay, طيب. So inshallah, we're going to go ahead and start. Brother Rayhan will read the first line, and then Dawood will read the second line. So that way we give both of you an opportunity to read, inshallah. تفضل. First line. You read the first line, he reads the second line. Repeat it. وكل شرط لازم للعاقد
في البيع
والنكاح No, that's خطأ. والنكاح. We never say nakah. There's nothing called nakah. Nikah. Nikah. والمقاصد. Nikah is marriage. Nikah is marriage. So, I will translate this, and then we'll listen to Dawood, and then we'll go through, inshallah, the explanation. So the Shaykh, he said, وَكُلُّ شَرْطٍ لَازِمٌ لِلْعَقِدِ. And every condition, it is binding. You know what binding is? Everybody understand what binding is? Binding, you have to do it. Yes, binding is something that you are required to do it. طيب? So every condition is binding to the person who did the contract. For example, if we did a contract, me and you to do something, and you signed and I signed, and we have two witnesses that signed. Okay, is that condition binding or not? Binding. So it is a binding condition. So the Shaykh, he said, fil bay', when it comes to business transaction, buying and selling. Buying and selling. When nikah, marriage, except إلا شروطا حللت محرمة, except a condition that deems something to be haram, deemed it haram, like something haram. Can you stipulate on something haram? Can you do that? No, you can't. You cannot. Except that which is on the way back. You will drive us to the bar. Is this condition binding or not binding? What do you say?
Binding.
Huh?
Non-binding.
Why? Because there is what?
It's haram.
Because there is a condition that is haram in it. You got it? So if there is a condition that is haram, then the contract will be what? Null void. Will be null void. You understand? Contract. Then this is binding if the family member backs out.
What happened, like, for example, in Iran? So does that person have to pay back the same currency or the same value?
Okay, like for example, if you borrowed from him $10,000 and 10 years ago, right? And it was not the same value of the $10,000 of today, you return it as you borrowed it. The same value. Now.
Was there an example at the time where something in terms of somebody's goods at the time and they complained?
Yes.
And he came the year after.
Right. So he cannot come like later and tell you, look, the value now increased, you have to give me more. No. I'm going to give you exactly how much the same amount I took from you in the same value back then.
Which is right now, like, there's no value.
Right. Because if he give it to him with more, then he's taking advantage of you. He's taking advantage of you. Now, تفضل.
This question was that if $10,000 that you found 10 years ago,
Yeah.
decreasing when the time comes.
To full condition. Sheikh Al-Fawzan has this on Al-Mulakhas Fiqhi. You know, some of them, subhanallah, you cannot even take care of the first wife, you go and marry another one? La ilaha illallah. What is this? Wallahi, this is chaos. This is not sunnah. This is chaos. You're not really following the sunnah. You're very chaotic. You see, you create a big problem. No. You have to be just. You have to be just. In order to do that, you have to be just. That's why he said, if you fear injustice, then suffice with one. Suffice with one. That's it. Now, you took so much time from the rest, so we have to give them an opportunity also to ask. Now,
No, so I was finishing like what I was saying, like the binding thing.
okay.
So then you have the two witnesses, and then you have
Al-Wali.
when
Yeah, the guardian.
yeah.
The guardian.
So then that means that the marriage is
It's valid. Okay, but there are more. There are actually 3 pillars of nikah. Anybody knows the pillars of nikah? We actually covered in the seminar in Chicago. Those who were there, they will be able to tell me. There are 3. 3 pillars of nikah. What are they? No. The 3 pillars. Al-Wali is from the shurut, conditions. We want the pillars.
Identify the woman precisely.
No, that's the second one. The first one. First one. La.
As not
No.
husband is present.
No. No.
Sanity?
Hmm?
Sanity?
No.
It's not.
La. Okay, I'm going to say it. طيب. The first pillar, barakallahu feekum, write this down. That these 2 individuals, the man and the woman, they should be free from anything that prevents them from getting married to each other. Okay? They should be free from what? From anything that would prevent them from getting married to each other. Like what?
Disease.
Diseases. Like the man or the woman has a very dangerous disease.
Like a STD or something.
Something that if he marries her, she's gonna get that disease that might kill her. It's not permissible to do that. Haram. طيب? So this is the first. Or it could be that this woman he's going to marry, she is his foster sister. You know what foster sister is? Okay, what does foster sister means?
Like they're not your blood sister.
But she is from what? Milk sister. Means that when you were a baby, let's say Abdurrahman, when he was in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, right? Okay? Your mom, breastfed you and breastfed the daughter, the baby daughter of the neighbors, the Muslim neighbors, right? How many times? No, more. 5 مرات. 5 times and more. But what is the condition? What is the condition? What is the condition? 5 times just like that? Or there is like a specific condition? What is it? Huh? Yeah, meaning that the baby drinks until it's full. It has its full. First time, then second time, then third time, then fourth time, then 5th times. Okay? Then she becomes what? Your foster sister. Now, question for you. Her brothers and sisters, Are they your foster sibling or not? Huh? No? Wrong. Yes, they are. They are.
But they didn't suck him.
Even if they did not. Even if they did not. They become his or her foster children, a foster sibling. You get it? Okay, now what about the woman that breastfed that baby?
She becomes the foster mother.
A foster mother. Ahsant. Now, what about his brother? Okay, let's say brother Muhammad, brother Farouk, they're brothers, right? طيب. Farouk is the one who breastfeed from this woman, right? This woman has a daughter. Okay, same age as brother Farouk. Abdurrahman, brother Farouk's brother, he was interested in this girl. He wanted to marry her. Can he do that? Huh? Are you sure?
Yes, on the,
Who say yes? Who say no?
yes, on the opposite side, but not for the
So you're saying yes?
only for the one who isn't the foster.
No, we're talking about his brother.
Yes, in that situation.
Okay, who said yes? Who say no?
I say yes.
Yes, brothers. Give it a shot. Think. Give it a shot. Allahu A'lam.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes, he can. Because that brother has nothing to do with that woman and her children. He has nothing to do with them. Because he did not what? He did not breastfeed from her. You see? That's why you need scholars. We learn this from our scholars. That's why the ulama are very important to have. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, Sheikh bin Baz, al-Uthaymeen, and others. You learn the different situations, different rulings. This ruling here is okay, halal. Who here? No, it's not halal. It's haram because of this and that. It's very important. Okay, now can anybody give me the contract where there is haram in it? And it's not binding. Because the sheikh, he said, except that which has haram in it. طيب.
A marriage contract where the husband is Catholic and the wife is Muslim?
Yes, ahsant. Okay, there is a contract, right? A marriage contract. Okay, the woman is Muslim. And the man is non-Muslim. So we had Al-Wali, the guardian was there. And we had the two witnesses. And he gave her the dowry. He did everything according to the Quran and Sunnah. Is this marriage contract valid or invalid? Why? Because we have, the problem is, the husband is a non-Muslim. And a woman cannot marry even from Ahl al-Kitab. She cannot marry. A Muslim woman cannot marry from Ahl al-Kitab. So it's not permissible. So the marriage contract will be invalid. Will be invalid. We did not finish the 3 pillars of nikah. See? I remember. طيب. Second pillar. Yes. Al-qabul wal-ijab. What is al-qabul wal-ijab? Anybody knows what it is? Al-qabul wal-ijab, Ahmed.
I know Qabul is like acceptance.
Okay. And
What is ijab?
al-ijab. Al-ijab when you say yes. Okay. طيب. Now, you have al-wali. So al-wali, he says to the groom, right? He said, زوجتك موليتي فلانة بنت فلان. قبلت؟ قال نعم. هذا القبول والإجابة. So he said, I give you my daughter in marriage. Okay. Now, if he said, I give you my daughter in marriage and he has 4 or 5 daughters, is the contract valid or invalid? Invalid.
Has a specific name.
Because he has to specify, and that's the third pillar of nikah. The third pillar of nikah, that he has to specify which one. Unless he has one daughter, that's a different story. But if he has more than one daughter, then he has to say, I give you my daughter Fatima in marriage. Yep. Now he specified. He said Fatima. We know exactly which one is getting married. Yep. Now, any contract that is invalid. Another scenario. تفضل. المتعة. أحسنت. والله. This is أحسنت. What is المتعة يا إخوان? Anybody knows what المتعة is? زواج المتعة. What is it? Huh? Yes. A temporary marriage. What does it? Anybody knows what it is? Maybe the brother Muhammad from Iraq, he will tell us. You know, since they are Shia there, he can tell us. How did you do temporary marriage? You never? Okay. Alhamdulillah that you did not. In Iran, in Iraq, in Kuwait, they're everywhere. طيب, تفضل. What do they do?
You get with like a woman temporary, so it's like zina.
It's like zina, basically. So what you do, you like a woman, she likes you, right? So you give her money. You say, I will marry you for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 1 year or more. Okay, the temporary marriage, does it have a wali? There's no wali. Are there any witnesses? There are no witnesses. You see the difference between the legit marriage, Islamic marriage, which has a wali, the guardian of the woman, and you have the 2 witnesses and the dowry and everything, and you have the shuhud, the 2 witnesses, and also nikah has to be what? Prophet ﷺ, he said, أعلنوا النكاح. Yes, it has to be announced. And nikah has to be announced so that the people know, subhanallah, this deen is so beautiful. Wallahi, wallahi. Look, when you announce the nikah, let's say you live in this neighborhood and the people, they know you very well, right? And they know you're not married, right? Now when you announce your nikah, everybody's going to know that you got married. Now when they see a woman with you, are they going to have any doubt about you? No. They say, MashaAllah, the brother got married, Mubarak, they will make dua for you, because they know, and you have nothing to hide. You see, subhanallah, Islam is a religion of making things clear. Allah, walillahi alhamdu wal minna. We don't hide stuff. Tfaddal.
That was going to be another example where you said explain something that prevents from being married.
No.
If another woman is in the process of talking to another man, but once she sees another man, she's like, oh, I want him, and leaves.
Ahsant. Or another problem, the woman is going through her iddah. Can you marry a woman in her iddah? You cannot marry her in her iddah. Or the woman is pregnant from the husband who just divorced her. Can you marry her while she is pregnant? No.
But he's not allowed to divorce her either, right?
Naam?
He can't divorce her while she's pregnant.
No, he can. He can divorce her. A lot of people, they think you cannot divorce a woman while she's pregnant. You can, actually. But al-iddah does not end until she delivers the baby. Look, Islam, respect the marriage. Allahu Akbar. Look at this child, because there is a child involved. And then he has to pay. He has to pay, for her taking care of the baby after she delivers the baby. He has to pay for that as well. Tfaddal. Yes, ahsant. Like for example, someone got into a state of ihram, right? He's doing either umrah or hajj. Then somebody called them and say, you know what? We are ready. We're going to do a contract with you. Nikah. So they had the wali, on a video call. By the way, the Permanent Committee of Ifta disallow it. They say it is not permissible to do a nikah over the phone. Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen has the same opinion. Sheikh bin Baz, he has a different opinion. Sheikh bin Baz, he said, if there is no deception, and the wali is known, and the witnesses are known, and the woman is known, and the groom is known, then it is permissible if there is a need. Because sometimes, like during Corona, or something like that, there is a need. The woman is in another country. Like Brother Majid, when we did the contract for him, like not very long ago, the woman was in where? In Romania. And the guardian was known to us, and everything was clear. There were witnesses. Alhamdulillah, this is okay. You could do this. When you know, everything is clear. Because the Permanent Committee of Ifta and Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, they said because there is a lot of deception. You see, a lot of people do this. This woman, she finds a man she likes, or the other way around. And then they go to an imam and say, we want to get married. Where is the wali? They lie. Said, he passed away, or something like that. I can't get to him, or something like that. And they go ahead and do the contract just like that. This brings about fitna. Brings about problems to the family. Now,
So you can get married.
you can get married if there is a need. The origin, you should marry in person. But if you can't, for example, there's a situation where you cannot be there, physically there, and you want to get married, right? Alhamdulillah, there's nothing wrong with as long as everything is known. There's no deception. طيب? Okay, anyone can give us a scenario where the contract is invalid because there is a stipulation in that contract that makes that contract invalid. تفضل.
Marrying the mother of a daughter that you were did the nikah.
أحسنت. Now, if a man married a woman, this woman has a daughter, so that daughter will be considered what? The stepdaughter, right? Of the man who married her mother. Now, if this man divorced her mother, can he marry the stepdaughter? He cannot marry her. It's haram. See? Or the other way around also. Or to marry two sisters at the same time. وَأَن تَجْمَعُوا بَيْنَ الْأُخْتَيْنِ. That you combine between two sisters at the same time. It's not permissible. Or from the Sunnah, what is it? Khalil? From the Sunnah, what is it? There's an example from the Sunnah. No. You marry a woman and her aunt at the same time. It's not permissible. It's not permissible to marry a woman and her aunt at the same time. طيب?
So let's say like you marry this woman and she has a sister. You can marry the sister too?
No. You cannot marry them at the same time. But if you divorce one, you can marry the other.
But what if
But you cannot marry them at the same time.
no, not at the same you mean at the same time while they're married?
No. You're not getting it. Both of them are not married. You cannot marry both of them at the same time. You understand, Abu Rahman? Don't think too far. Huh?
Like a girl and her cousin at the same time.
A girl,
Like you marry a girl and her cousin, the wife's cousin. So they're cousins.
cousins.
So like the wife and then the wife's cousin.
It's permissible. What's not permissible is to marry the woman and her aunt at the same time. It's not permissible.
What about the father marries the daughter, the son marries the mother?
The father he marries,
So there's a mother and a daughter. There's an example where a son would marry the mother and the father would marry the daughters.
is okay. In that case, is okay. Now, okay, a scenario where that the contract become invalid. Let's go to transactions because we gave a lot of examples about nikah. So we want to give example about business transaction. Like for example, someone says, I will do business with you. Right? I will do business with you and I will loan you money. I will loan you money so that you can do business with me. But at the same time, you're going to give me more than what I gave you as a loan. Interest, basically. Right? Interest. Is this valid or invalid? Invalid. Because the interest involved in this is haram. Now.
So, if you want to have like a business contract with someone, then you tell them, like you are gonna pay them like $30,000 a month.
Yes.
And then, like you break that and you don't pay them.
Right. Or you sell what is not known. It's called bay' al-gharar. Bay' al-gharar. For example, I have some nuts in my pocket. I said to you, I want to sell you this nuts that I have in my pocket for $1. Is this contract valid or invalid? Invalid. Why? Because you don't know what I have in my pocket. You may not like it. So you don't sell what is not known. That's why the ulama, they say you cannot sell fish in the water. You cannot sell fish in the water. How can you sell the fish in the water? There's no way you could do that. Or you sell that which you do not own or you don't have. Like, okay, drop shipping is one of them. Drop shipping. طيب, what is drop shipping? Anybody knows? What is drop shipping?
It's like third party, and then you buy from somebody else. They
Right.
get a share of it, you can try to sell it.
Let's say Brother Ahmed is the manufacturer. طيب, Abdul Rahman is the customer. I am the middleman, right? Between you, Abdul Rahman, and Ahmed, the manufacturer. Now, what I do advertisement for Abdul Rahman, for Ahmed, because Ahmed gives me a commission when I sell his product. So what I do, I have only the images of the product online. So the customer, he sees the product and he likes it and he pays me. Then Ahmed gets the order and ship the product to the customer. Is this valid or invalid? Invalid. Why? Because you have sold what you don't own. But there is what they call salam. Anybody knows what bay' al-salam is? What is bay' al-salam? Okay, so like give me an example of bay' al-salam. No, not that. Bay' al-salam. Anybody knows what bay' al-salam is? No. What is bay' al-salam? Okay. I'm going to explain to you. We go back to Ahmed again. Ahmed is a manufacturer. Ahmed, for example, he makes, for example, plates. Okay, plates. and I need plates. So I give Ahmed, I give him the whole amount. طيب? I give him the whole amount. I want 1 container load طيب? Of plates. And I want them to be this specific, this quantity. All the details I give him. And I pay him full. طيب? Ahmed, he says, they will be ready in 1 month. You will receive them. This is called salam. This is called bay' salam. It's permissible. طيب? It's permissible. نعم. تفضل.
You said that middleman was not
No, middleman is not haram. The middleman is not. But the problem is when you sell a product that you don't own it, this is haram.
So,
You get it?
yeah, so Amazon.
Because the middleman, he does not own the product. He doesn't have it. But it will be different. If the customer, Abdul Rahman, he calls me and he says, you know what, I see this product on your website and I'm interested in this product. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and have this product shipped to you if you pay the manufacturer directly. And this is the number.
That's what Amazon does.
طيب, this is permissible. This is permissible. Because you're not selling. The manufacturer is the one selling. You're just getting the commission. You may get commission from the manufacturer and from the customer as well. Or sometimes you may get only from the manufacturer. This is permissible. But not to sell the product because you don't own it. How can you sell something you don't own? No.
Or like,
Yes.
could you say for
لا تبيع ما لا تملك. Prophet ﷺ, he said, do not sell what you do not have in your possession.
How would the broker or the agent or the real estate,
طيب.
they sell the house, they get commission from the seller and from the buyer?
Okay. They sell the house and the owner gives them the permission to sell it, right? And they sell it and they give the money back to the owner and they get the commission. This is permissible. This is permissible. Like for example, if the manufacturer gives you that authority to sell and you have the product with you, for example, you have a warehouse, right? You're the middleman. You have a warehouse and he gives you that authority because he trusts you and you sell the product and he gives you give him the money, he gives you a percentage, whatever the case is, 10%, 15%, whatever the case is, it's permissible. What's not permissible is to sell what you don't have. No.
Now, what if both parties know that you just middleman, just agent? You don't have product,
You just make connection.
brokering.
Yes, because the broker actually, he's not the seller. The broker, he's just the middleman. Like for example, Brother Anwar, he's interested in this apartment. Okay? So what I do, I call the owner, I said, you know what, I have a customer for you. Right? He said, okay, give me his number. Boom, 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 done. And then he gives you a commission. Alhamdulillah, there's nothing wrong with that. Because you're not actually selling. You're just a mediator. That's what it is, mediator. The time is up, so we'll take one question from brother.
very quick example. So somebody in my family, her income, obviously, it's impermissible anyway, because she sells like from like the mutabarrij, like the dresses and everything. It's like Middle Eastern style dresses. But because she doesn't ever really get them, she gets them sold and made, and they just ship to the customers, but they're overseas in like Jordan or whatever, and they sell it to the customers all over. She buys them, but she never really gets them. Would that be because she doesn't have it possession? Would it be wrong?
Repeat the question. I did not get the first
So
one.
in a sense, she buys the dresses overseas and sells it to customers all over the world.
She buys them overseas.